Imagine a place where landscapes look like ancient paintings, where poetry is whispered in the streets, and where the scent of saffron fills the old markets. A place where hospitality is not a gesture. It's a religion. This place exists. It's Iran. But behind the beauty of turquoise mosques, forbidden dances, and silent glances lies a profound dilemma. Is Iran a hidden paradise or an open-air prison? Before it was called Iran, this country was known as Persia, one of the cradles of civilization. Here flourished one of the oldest and most sophisticated empires in the world. Persian culture shaped art, literature, and science for centuries. Poets like Hafez and Rumi wrote verses that are still recited like prayers today. Calligraphy is art. Tea is philosophy. But what happened to this empire that enchanted the world? In 1979, Iran ceased to be a modern Persian kingdom and became an Islamic republic. The Shah was overthrown. The Ayatollah arrived. With him came strict rules, censorship, absolute control of religion over the state, and private life over the public. The revolution promised justice, but for many it brought oppression. Freedom became a sin. Art became subversion. Women became symbols of control. In Iran, women are forced to cover their hair. It seems like a small detail, but refusing to wear the hijab can mean imprisonment, beatings, or even death. In 2022, the world watched in horror the death of Mahsa Amini, detained for wearing the veil improperly. This tragedy ignited the spark of a silent revolution. Thousands of women challenged the regime in the streets. They cut their hair. They shouted for freedom. But the price of courage is high. Despite the repression, the Iranian people, especially the youth, find ways to resist. They use banned social media with VPNs. Listen to Western music at secret parties. Make rap with lyrics against the regime. Create art, memes, and movements. Every pixel, every beat, every dance step is an act of rebellion. They live between fear and the desire for change, like flowers growing through cracks in concrete. But the regime sees everything. The Revolutionary Guard is one of the most feared forces in the country. They control the media, politics, economy, and people's lives. Living in Iran means knowing there are eyes everywhere. A wrong joke can lead to months in prison. An Instagram post can ruin your life. In Iran, even silence can be dangerous. And yet, Iran is a country of breathtaking beauty. Snow-capped mountains, golden deserts, eternal gardens. And the people, oh, the people, kind, generous, passionate about poetry and tea. They invite you for dinner without even knowing you, treat you like family even if you are a stranger. There's a sweetness in the Iranian people that resists even the bitterness of the regime. So, is Iran a hidden paradise or an open-air prison? The truth is, maybe it's both. It's a place where beauty and pain live side by side, where the soul of the people resists even when the body is punished, where every act of freedom is a revolution, and where hope never dies. Because even under veils, under laws, under fear, the Persian soul keeps dancing. And paradise, even imprisoned, still breathes. But to truly understand Iran, you have to look beyond the headlines. While the world sees it only through the lens of politics, those who live there know Iran is made of layers. Layers of history, of faith, of fear, and of love. Inside homes, behind curtains, away from the eyes of the state, life pulses intensely. Families laugh around hand-embroidered carpets, drinking cardamom tea. Children fly colorful kites under the Tehran sky. And grandparents tell stories of ancient Persia, when kings fell in love with poets, and entire cities were built in the name of love. It is in this contrast that Iran's soul resides. Young people study engineering and medicine with fierce dedication, but dream of escape from control, escape from fear, escape to a place where they can love freely, where they can sing, dance, walk hand in hand without looking over their shoulder. Many risk their lives to cross borders. Others live with divided hearts, one foot in the present, the other in an imagined future. And even among those who stay, there is hope. Hope that comes from art, from poetry that cannot be erased, from a collective memory that resists censorship, because Persian culture is bigger than any dictatorship. It is a carpet woven for millennia where every thread is a memory, a pain of victory. And this heritage lives on the graffiti-covered walls of Shiraz, in Abbas Kiarostami's films, in the silent protests of women who walk with loose hair, knowing the risk, in the glances that say what words cannot. Iran lives a silent battle, not between armies, but between worldviews, between the rigidity of those who govern and the freedom of those who dream, between imposed fear and spontaneous courage, between a glorious past and an uncertain future. But there is something the regime has never managed to control: the Persian soul. It's in calligraphy that dances as if it were music, in the sound of the tar, an ancient instrument that sings old sorrows, in the smell of rice with tadig, in the eyes of girls who secretly learn to code, in the humor that survives even in pain, and especially in the act of continuing to live, to keep creating, to keep loving. If you go to Iran, you may find people afraid to speak. But if you listen carefully, you'll hear a whisper stronger than any shout, a whisper that says, "We are still here. We won't be silenced. We have not forgotten who we are." Perhaps this is the true Persian miracle, not the glory of palaces, but the everyday resistance, the flower that grows through asphalt, the laughter that escapes during repression, the poem that survives hidden inside a book. Iran is a paradox. It is both light and shadow, silence and scream, prisons and gardens, and it is up to us outsiders to look with empathy, not just to judge, but to understand, to realize that behind the veil of repression beats a people who love deeply, who suffer, yes, but who also dream, and who do not give up, because in the end, Iran is not just a country. It is an ancient soul imprisoned in the body of the present. And as long as that soul keeps dancing, even in silence, paradise, though hidden, will never cease to exist. Where there is ruin, there is hope for a treasure. And perhaps that treasure is the Iranian people themselves.